So let's talk about this movie, guys. Why the hell are we reviewing it? Because it was an awesome movie, cut to the chase. I like the goddamn movie, and this is why I'm talking about it. First of all superhero movies to date have failed, okay? Not superhero movies, sorry. Arcade movies. Like, you got Street Fighter, okay, with Jean-Claude Van Damme. That was a disaster. You have Dead or Alive. That's also a disaster. You had Mortal Kombat Annihilation, #2.
Wasn't there Tekken as well?
You know what? If there was, that's how bad it was. Because I don't remember that fucking movie, Tekken. That's how bad it was, okay? That aside, though, Mortal Kombat 1 was killer for me. It had it had the attempt of doing a story.
You know, honestly, like, I think the only thing that for me, for the first Mortal Kombat kind of kills it is the set design.
I loved it. Think of its time. Think of the time it came out.
It looked like a music video in some parts, man.
Okay, granted.
The final fight with Johnny Cage. Anyway, we're talking about older movies, but the fight with Johnny Cage and Scorpion, to me, sort of like moments like that cheese it down. This movie had a couple of those moments too, but anyway.
Me and Leo are gonna go back and forth between the original, maybe the Annihilation, because we need to compare this movie to its predecessors. Yeah. And to me, this movie, I could, you know what? We just finished watching it, by the way. Even during the movie, I had a smile half of the time because I'm such a nerd when it comes to the cheesy one-liners. I love them if you can deliver on the fucking beat.
Dude, Kano delivered, bro.
Kano and also Jax, the actor that played Jax.
Kano.
You know, he wasn't spectacular in this role, right? It really boiled down to Kano, Sub-Zero, and Scorpion.
Pretty much.
Right, essentially. And Shao Tsung and... Well, even though Shao Tsung didn't come on a lot, he did steal the show in certain areas.
He wasn't as prominent as like in the first Mortal Kombat movie, but he did have...
In the first Mortal Kombat movie, well, yeah, you're right. He wasn't. He
started almost all the fights. He would come out with his fighters and like, it's time to show this guy, you know.
It was more like rule based. Like he wasn't. I mean, he broke some rules, but it wasn't like. This movie is clear as day. He's trying to fucking break the rules from beginning to end. He doesn't want to fucking have a tournament. Fuck, you know, if this is a fight to the death and it's like a winner takes over the world, then you know what? Fuck the rules. I don't give a fuck. But so Jax, when it comes to that character alone, he was not a throwaway character. He didn't have a lot of scenes, right? He had the confrontation with Sub-Zero, but he turned to Sub-Zero. He's like, 7 tours, motherfucker. And I was just like, okay, yeah. That's the delivery I'm looking for, you know? It's like so cheese, but it's like, I'll fucking eat it up all fucking day, dude.
Yeah,
give me that.
I'll give the movie that. It needed those lines and it delivered.
And you know, you brought up Kano. Kano made essentially the movie for me.
I would agree.
Right? His comedic timing. It's like, here's the thing with Kano. As I'm watching the movie, I'm thinking, what would I say in this fucking situation? And Kano would say it right off the bat. And I was just like, dude, this guy's like my spirit animal. He's saying what I'm thinking. Yeah. It's fucking tripping me out.
I like this Kano better than the first Mortal Kombat Kano, and I love that Kano.
And you know what? This movie does do a very good job of doing little throwbacks here and there, not very kind of in your face, although they did say fatality, flawless victory.
Yeah, they would throw those in there.
You know, Kano. I knew that the tone was set when Kano was fighting Reptile. Oh, yeah. Okay, and fucking Kano essentially stabbed Reptile through the heart in the beginning of the movie. First of all, I thought that was going to be it. He just stabbed him, his hands going through the other side, and I thought, okay, that's a good death. But then they gave it to me. They fucking gave it to me. He pulls out the heart, boom, and then he says, Kano wins. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, you're going to be like one of those fucking movies, dude. Yeah. I kind of did a slow clap when that happened.
The theater, we got to see it in the theaters. the theater was reacting to a lot of the stuff that the movie was putting out.
Especially Kano's stuff.
Oh yeah. They were definitely eating it up.
With Kung Lao, I did not expect him to be in this damn movie.
I didn't either. That was a surprise. I actually kind of cheered out loud when I saw him pop up.
I saw that, yeah. But the thing is like Kung Lao's character is so... I automatically assumed when he popped up, I'm like, oh, he's going to be so underused. He's not going to go to his like full potential kind of thing.
See, that's what sucks about certain characters is they have potential, but they underuse them. They're underutilized.
Kung Lao did have his fatality where he's like sliced a girl in half with his hat. That was kind of cool.
That was cool.
We had the Kano fatality. Mm-hmm. We had the Liu Kang fucking animality. I can't even say that. Animality.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of fatalities going on here, but it was just kind of, they didn't hit you over the head with it. If you're a fan of the video game, you'll know,
certain moves.
Yeah.
I like Sub-Zero had the ice wall where he throws the opponent against the ice wall. That was pretty cool.
Dude, Sub-Zero, he's like killer in this movie.
I love his environment was always ice everywhere.
I do have a couple of issues with this movie. Overall, it's a fucking banger, bro. That's a 4K Blu-ray buy for me.
Too.
Okay, now the bad things about this movie is we touched about a little bit about every character, but I don't like how they utilize Reptile.
I didn't like that.
Okay, now Reptile, I'm thinking they could have salvaged it if in the middle of that because he's an actual reptile, by the way. He's not like green ninja suit, none of that.
I do like that because in the games, Reptile went from a ninja to sort of more of a reptilian kind of character, and that's what he was in this one, like sort of like a giant anthropomorphic iguana. But
he never turned into human form.
No.
See, that's my gripe, is that I was expecting halfway through...
I didn't like that either. I wanted to see the suit.
Yeah, that he would just morph into, like...
Yeah, well, in the game, in like Mortal Kombat 3, he would rip off the mask and his like reptilian face would show up for a second and he would spit the acid.
Spit acid, yeah.
Right.
But the thing about... Mortal Kombat 1 introduced Reptile in a superior way. With in Mortal Kombat 1, he was fighting Luke Cage.
Terrible CG.
Terrible. He's fucking holding. You can tell he's holding nothing in his hands. He's just like choking him. Okay. He throws him into the statue. Then the statue turns into Reptile.
The
right.
Ninja. Okay, I didn't like that aspect of the movie when he was invisible and Kano was sort of fighting the invisible Reptile.
Yeah.
Sort of looked. I couldn't suspend my disbelief there. I was like, okay, he's pretending that he's holding something.
But that's why I wanted them to turn into the
I didn't
green.
mind it, but it just that moment where Kano's fighting an invisible thing kind of pulled me out for a second.
Nothing that this movie did with a little bit of his flaws here and there completely removed me.
Okay, what do you think about the sort of inner powers that they had to awaken?
It kind of reminded me of Rey from Star Wars, The Force Awakens. It's just kind of it's kind of convenient, but it didn't take me out, and I didn't mind it. It was just kind of now thinking about it, I think I did mind. You fucked me up.
Look, I did mind when Sonya killed Kano with the statue that Kano spit on, the gnome, and all of a sudden has these power gauntlets essentially where she's shooting her projectiles.
I don't like the concept of power being transferred from one to the other.
They did sort of establish that because Kano got those powers the same way. I think it sort of delegitimized Sonya a little bit because they made her she was the outcast up until that point.
Yeah, and she was just,
she was a throwaway character.
Yeah. When they started to train, Liu Kang, Kung Lao, Jax, and, not Jax, Kano and whoever that fucking guy was.
Bull or whatever.
Who was that guy?
He's supposed to be just a descendant of Scorpion.
But that threw me the fuck off. Because I thought that was Scorpion.
I guess that's a gripe with this movie is that they had a rando character, right, that has never been in the series in any of the the franchise games, but is used to sort of tie in the the bloodline of Scorpion, which it didn't need to be done. Right? They could have just had him teleport there and just come back the way Sub-Zero did.
Yeah, you're bringing up a really good point because during the movie, I kind of was like, who the fuck is that? Because I thought he was Scorpion.
And then not just that, but his inner power was like this like wannabe Aquaman armor, you know?
It was kind of like all of a sudden he turned into like Resistant Man. Dude, the more you're talking, the more you're throwing me off this fucking movie. What the fuck?
It's like, there's just little things like that I did like pick up on that sort of bothered me. I didn't want it to throw off the movie though, because overall I think it's an enjoyable movie. But there's little moments like that where you're just like, you didn't have to do that.
Fuck this movie. No.
No, but it did have movies. It had moments like that where like, just, you know, they could have just made him a good fighter, you know, and he had Scorpion's blood, so it just so happens that he dons a Scorpion powers.
See, that's why I kind of do enjoy watching movies with you, because sometimes I see things, it doesn't bother me, and I just brush things off, and I'm like, you know, fuck it, whatever. And then you say it, and I'm just like, wait a second. Okay, see, sometimes when I throw shit out of the way, I feel like it's just me, you know, that's griping.
No,
but when you're saying it, I'm like, okay, it legitimizes my fucking gripe around it.
Exactly that. I have to throw it out, you know?
This is a B-list movie. This is not an A-list movie, right? But for some weird reason, every actor didn't treat it as a B-list movie. I mean, if you're Tom Cruise and you're like, hey, would you like to be in the Mortal Kombat? No. You're kind of like... I'm Top Gun, remember? Yeah. Like, there's no way I'm going Mortal Kombat. Am I Johnny Cage? You know, like, he would be an awesome, 20 years ago.
He would have been a great Johnny Cage around Cocktail Time.
Yeah, exactly, 20 years ago. Yeah. I'm going to say this is a solid 7 out of 10. But that 7, you know, in order to make it on my Blu-ray wall, you got to be a 7. You got to be a 7 and above. And you know what's so funny, dude? Because I have different ratings for like action movie ratings or horror movie ratings, and they're all different ratings, right? But as long as you're a fucking 7, I even have a rating for bad movies, you know? As long as you're a 7, you make it on the wall.
I'm going to go with a 7. Only because the fighting is great. I don't care about the story at all, to be honest with you. I would have preferred something a little bit different. I didn't like the throwaway character that ties you into the story. He's not really throwaway, but he's an integral part. But I give it a solid 7.
Whatever. I mean, 7. Fuck it. We don't know when our next movie review is going to be. If it's a, you know what? Fuck it. It's going to be Fast and the Furious 15. Because that one, you can tell, dude, that one's going to be fucking ridiculous. Dude, we saw the fucking trailer in the fucking theater. It's ridiculous, dude, what's going on in there.
I know we're talking a completely different movie, but this is a preview of what's coming. Listen, they're now swinging. They're swinging cars, man.
Yeah. He's like, it's so stupid. It's so stupid. Vin Diesel's in his car, right? He's fucking, he's fucking gunning it, and he jumps off the cliff, and then there's a vine. Dude, a vine is holding up an entire car. Get out of here. Okay. and the entire time he's swinging, he's like this.
Nothing.
Letty's beside him. He's like, she's
holding on for dear life.
And he's just like not even fucking blinking, bro. He's like, nos it up, bro. Nos it up. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. I saw that movie. I'm like, dude, that thing is going to be a 10 out of 10, bro. It's just so ridiculous. Stay tuned for that, because you know I'm going to have shit to say about that goddamn movie. Anyways, we'll catch you guys next time. Let us know who your favorite character was. Was it a justifiable 7? Was it I thought you were going to say a 5. But, you know, 7's a solid number. Yeah. Until next time, guys, later.